Hey there! Welcome to today's explainer on reading fluency and the power of punctuation. Now, since you're an 8th grade student, you are tackling way more complex texts, you're writing deeper essays, and you're communicating much more nuanced ideas than ever before. So today, we're going to unlock a little secret weapon that will instantly elevate how you read and how you speak. Let's just dive right in, because what we're looking at today is literally going to change the way you look at every single page you read.
I want to start by setting our foundation with this beautiful truth from Psalm 119:30. It says, "The unfolding of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple." Notice how perfectly that captures our entire goal for today's lesson. When you read out loud, or honestly, even when you write something for someone else to read, your words should bring light. They should bring crystal clear understanding to whoever is listening. What we absolutely want to avoid is darkness, confusion, or making people struggle just to figure out what you're trying to say. Proper reading fluency and knowing your punctuation, well, those are the tools that flip that light switch right on.
And this classic example brilliantly illustrates exactly what happens when that light switch is left off. Just look at the left side. Let's eat grandma. Okay, nice, polite. You're just calling your beloved grandma to the dinner table. But look at the right side. Let's eat grandma. Yikes, right? Without that one tiny little comma, you are suddenly suggesting that your grandmother is the actual dinner. It's a darkly funny example for sure, but it really hits the nail on the head. One missing pause can completely change a sentence's meaning and lead to total disaster. Ignoring punctuation doesn't just make you sound like a robot, it actively confuses people and completely rewrites the author's original meaning.
So, to avoid serving our relatives for dinner, we really need to understand what punctuation actually is. I want you to think of reading out loud exactly like driving a car. Punctuation marks, they are the road signs of reading. They're these vital traffic signals that tell you exactly when to stop, when to slow down, or when to totally show excitement. Think about it. If you're driving a car and you just blast right through a red light or a stop sign, you are going to crash. It is the exact same thing with reading. If you speed right through a period or a comma without changing your pace or your tone, your sentences are just going to crash right into one another, and your audience will be completely lost.
Okay, let's open up your official driver's manual for reading. I actually want you to practice these vocal shifts with me. First up, the period. This is your red light. When you see a period, you have to stop. You lower your tone and you pause briefly before the next sentence. It sounds grounded. Finished. Next, the comma. This is your yield sign. You just pause lightly without stopping the flow entirely. It's just a quick breath to separate your ideas. Then we have the question mark. This usually signals a rising tone toward the very end, showing curiosity. Your voice literally goes up. And finally, the exclamation point. This demands way more energy and volume. You're basically stepping on the gas pedal to show excitement or urgency.
Now let's see how this builds when we hit some of the more advanced road signs on our journey. Since you're an 8th grader, you're going to see a whole lot more of these: colons, semicolons, and dashes. Now these aren't just simple stops or yields. These marks might actually require a slightly longer pause or a really distinct shift in your tone to show a sudden change in thought. Think of a dash kind of like a sudden scenic detour on your drive, and think of a colon like a grand announcement, like, hey, here is what we're looking at. Navigating these trickier road signs with a slightly longer pause lets your listener know that a linked but totally new thought has just arrived.
Let's actually put this into practice. Look at this text. We won the championship. Now imagine reading that with a super flat, boring voice. We won the championship. Wow, sounds like you're reading a grocery list, right? The exclamation point is there to actively guide your expression. It's telling you to step on the gas. So you read it with high energy and volume. We won the championship. Do you hear that difference? The punctuation mark isn't just ink on a page. It's quite literally a direct instruction manual for your vocal cords.
Okay, now let's try the curious question. Where are we going? If I read this flatly, like, where are we going, it doesn't even sound like I'm asking anything at all. But when I respect the road sign, I distinctly raise my tone slightly at the very end. Where are we going? See, that rising tone clearly conveys uncertainty and curiosity to anyone listening. It helps the audience follow the exact vibe that you, or the author, intended to create.
So, the most crucial part is taking this from theory into practice. Here is your mission to actively practice these new driving skills. Step 1. Read a passage out loud and really ham up the punctuation. Just exaggerate it. Step 2. Mark a short text and describe how it changes your flow. For step 3, pull out your phone, record yourself reading 2 sentences, one using punctuation, one without, and just listen to the difference in clarity. Finally, steps 4 and 5. Hunt down 3 different punctuation marks in whatever book you're currently reading to see their effect, and then write your own original 3-sentence paragraph to show off your new skills.
Now, as we wrap up our academic skill for the day, I really want to transition into something even more important. At HeroesMart Academy, we deeply believe in the godly learner philosophy. Romans 8:6-7 teaches us that to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Becoming a better reader and a much better speaker is absolutely fantastic, but we must always remember that our minds need to stay centered on God, truth, and wisdom above everything else.
And this brings us to the core of why we learn anything at all. You see, HeroesMart Academy intertwines biblical morality with education because honestly, education without morality can actually hurt. Think about it for a second. Knowledge and intelligence shouldn't just exist to simply make you more capable or more powerful. If you have incredible communication skills but you use them to deceive people, well, that knowledge has just become a weapon. Instead, your academic excellence should combine with biblical morality to create true wisdom. Your knowledge should help you make wise, God-honoring choices in literally every area of your life. So, that leaves us with the ultimate question for you to consider as you step out of this lesson and into your week. Will you use your knowledge today to simply be capable, or will you use it to make wise, God-honoring choices? I want to challenge you to passionately pursue academic excellence. Master those commas, perfect those exclamation points, and read with incredible fluency. But do it all while keeping your mind centered on God's truth and righteous choices. You have the tools right now to bring light and understanding to the world through your words. Go out there and use them wisely.